Well, hello everyone. Wow, a guy hardly got any voice. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Pearls, another round. Politics of Pearls Politics. Listen, y'all, I just woke up in time for the show. I cannot believe that I fell asleep and somehow something knew that I needed to be awake. It was time, almost showtime. Well, Tim, I had another birthday. I can tell the difference in this year. When I was young like you, those birthdays used to not make a difference, right?
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, you hear people say, people would always ask the question, do you feel any different?
Yeah,
No. They were saying, no, I don't really feel any difference, right?
I know,
Well,
right?
wait till you get in those 70s, y'all. That's all I can say. 'Cause I'm telling you. Okay, y'all, everybody, we're here for Pearls Politics. Come on in now. We're live. I was just putting a post here on Facebook so people can come in, watch the show. I probably need to go ahead and share this to our biggest politics show fan,
Yeah.
Mr. Luther, if I can find him in here.
What's that?
Yeah, I gotta make sure to get it over to him. Hey, Luther, we're live now on Pearl's Politics. Come on in. All right, I sent few people the link. I'll tell you, it may not be that many people on because, like I said, y'all, I just woke up and I really didn't share. I usually share about an hour before the show to the different platforms, what have you. But even if we get one or two of you that's willing to listen, all right, we already got seven. That's good. Thank y'all so much for coming in. All right. So, Tim,
Yes.
what seems to be happening around international news? Have you heard anything lately? Um,
Well, uh, we got a lot going on, and unfortunately, it brings us back to our city. Uh, we got the split version of half happy, half mad. A lot of people call themselves mad at Donald Trump right now
mm,
uh, because he's moving in directions that have not been entered before. I
mm,
guess you could say, with the government shut down and everything else. I
right.
think this one, I don't know if we had one this long for a shutdown or have we?
Yeah, we have about, I think it was 2018 when he first came in his first term. It lasted 2 weeks. So we
Uh,
hadn't got to that 2 week point yet, but
right.
it might be on the way, right?
Yeah, I know, right? Hopefully, I guess they're gonna have to come to some type of conclusion. We can't. So it's a lot of everything riding on that jobs and allocated money to different institutions and whatnot. Senior citizens getting their checks, the troops getting their checks. So yeah, it's a lot riding on it.
Yeah. Well, they claim that Social Security won't be affected, and people still get those checks. And he's not touching the veterans,
Yeah,
so veterans will still get their checks. But I did say that it's a possibility that by the end of the week, which is tomorrow, he may be laying off half of the IRS
this
workforce.
is true. This is
Mm,
true. I heard
mm,
that.
34,000 people,
Yeah.
and they're already experiencing some effects of shortages at air traffic controllers
Yes.
around the country because people are taking off sick. And see, when you're a federal worker, you have what we call two kinds of leave. Now, I think the military is the same way. We have sick leave and we have annual leave. And
Yes.
vacation, annual leave is your vacation leave, and your sick leave is actually your sick leave. Hey, listen, are you trying to come in the studio with us? We see you as a viewer. as the audience. So if you want to come into the studio, I'll have to send you a different link. So let me know if you're trying to get into the studio or do you actually see us now as a viewer. Okay, so you have two different types of leave as a federal employee and probably in the military. Tim, you were retired Navy.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't get sick. Uh,
So
yeah,
military can't get sick, huh?
nah, we can't get sick, but we do have annual leave.
Okay, so you just put no, Luther. So you do. Can you see us? You can see the show, and you just want to watch it as a viewer. Say yes, if that's what you say. Okay, he said, "I see you." All
Okay.
right, thank you, Luther. So anyway, well, as a civilian employee, like the Internal Revenue people, the IRS, where it's a possibility that half of them, 34,000 people, might get laid off starting at the beginning of next week.
Right.
They have two types of leave. It's annual and sick. Annual is your vacation leave, and sick is your sick leave.
Yeah.
And they earn that based on the number of years of service. They start you out at like 4 hours every pay period. That's the way it used to be. I don't know if they reduced the system or not, but you get every pay period, which is every 2 weeks.
Right.
You get 4 hours of sick leave. You get 4 hours of annual leave, right?
Right.
And so that builds up. And a lot of people just don't use it. So, because you're talking about 8 hours a month, and then so 8 times 12 is what? About 72 hours, maybe,
Yeah.
right? A
Yeah.
year. At the end of the year, you got 72 hours of sick leave. You got 72 hours of annual leave. So, you got people that will build it up or people that's been there a long time because I think if you're like already been like 12, 15 years of service, as a civilian, and instead of earning the 4 hours of annual leave, you earn 6 hours of annual leave. So it goes like that, and the higher brass up you are, you can get up to like GS 16, GS 14. But then you're talking about CIA secret agents and stuff like that. They're earning about 8 hours every 2 weeks, of each. So, so that's a lot of leave built up and people don't take off, right?
Yeah.
So what's happening is, is because they are laid off, or I mean, because the government is shutting down, and they anticipate the workers are anticipating that they're going to get furloughed.
Right.
They're calling in sick. They're not coming to work. They're using their sick leave,
Yeah. Yeah. As they should.
and it's perfectly legitimate, right?
Right. Yeah.
hmm But here comes the feather in the hat. They say that President Trump is threatening not to pay them their back pay if they do get laid off. He's threatening not to pay their back pay. So I don't know what the reason is behind it. It's why he would say that, but I could kind of think of maybe what might be going on in Trump's head. And that is, I think he's thinking, okay, so if they get laid off starting next week and they stay laid off for 2 weeks, they would only have to use they would use, their probably most of them would have enough sick leave and annual leave to cover their pay, right?
Yeah.
But then that would leave them with zero annual leave and zero sick leave when they return back. I mean, when the layoff is over, right?
Right.
So, how do you feel about that if he does that? Or do you think he should? Oh, excuse me. Do you think he should do that?
That's a tough call. And when you're the top man or top person at that level, you have to make the tough decisions. Uh, so on one hand, you want to feel for if you were walking in, if you put yourself in their shoes, and then on the other half, you kind of want to think that your president is making the right decisions. Uh, I don't believe anyone likes to be in those positions when they have to make those major decisions like that. But you are the top person for a reason, so the executive decision does lie with you. Um, we have holidays right around the corner. Uh, there is nothing worse I can only imagine of some, not being employed around the holidays. So there's that aspect of it. It's a lot of aspects of it. You know what I mean? It's just unfortunately that their department is getting hit first. They're not going to be the last department, I don't believe. So yeah, it's when you look at it from those aspects of it, it's a toss up, and they've always said that's why people make the big bucks, because they have to make those type of executive decisions, be it right or wrong.
Yeah, this is true. And regardless as to where's my there we go. And this is true. And regardless as to what the decision is, um, somebody's gonna be mad at you.
Oh
Because you
yeah,
can't, because you can't please everybody, right?
this is true.
So, uh, uh, because it could not even be coming from Trump, it could be coming by from the Secretary of the Treasury.
Could be.
All right, everybody, look, I just put a link in here. You guys can click on this link later. I want to share that with y'all. Judge Joe Brown, he did a news interview, Luther, about why he left Memphis, why he doesn't live directly in Memphis because of all the problems. And he calls out names and he calls them out for corruption. And it's really, really good. Um, I think I'll play just a little bit of it. Um, it's on YouTube. I'm sure that, and I'm trying to share it on my screen. I didn't do a copy of it. Like, he's an older square. Let me see if I can pause this. Hold on. Okay, I got it paused. And I'm gonna see Tim. I'm gonna need you to give me a thumbs up to let me know if you can hear the sound
Okay.
when I share, because sometimes I share. Okay, Luther, I see your comment. After we watch this, I'm gonna come back to your comment, Luther, about President Trump. Okay. Okay, hold on. Okay, I just woke up, Luther, about 5 minutes before the show. So I'm kind of, just really kind of logging crazy here today. Uh, Slow lagging. I'm like a lag on the computer, not just the computer lagging. It's me too. Okay. All right. So, Tim, I can see you over in the left hand corner. I'm gonna
Okay.
start. Let me see. You know what? Let me stop because I know right now I did not push this. I didn't push this. The share the sound button. Let me do this again, y'all. Y'all gotta hear Judge Brown. Oh yeah, I did. It's got the audio on. No, okay, there we go. There we go. Audio. Okay, now I got the audio button. So it should show the audio on here now. All right, let's go. See what we got. Tim, I'm waiting for your thumbs up. I can still
Okay.
see you.
Okay.
Let me get. All right, here we go.
Judge, what do you make of the announcement by President Trump today that he wants to send in the National Guard with the approval of the Democrat mayor and the Republican?
I'm excited.
Here we are at Overton Square in Memphis with Judge Joe Brown. So, Judge, he just had some admirers. They wanted their picture with him, and he gave them some law advice. They were in law school, actually, so he gave them some great advice. Judge, what do you make of the announcement by President Trump today that he wants to send in the National Guard with the approval of the Democrat mayor and the Republican governor? What do you think of this?
They need to send it in. The Republican governor is not doing too well in his popularity these days. The Democrat mayor is trying to maintain a grip on a little deal that he put together when he was running downtown development with some other people. See, you know, Trump is properly against DEI and all of that other stuff. But there is a decrepit downtown hotel that represents a major international hotel chain that when the current mayor, Paul Young, was over downtown development, they got a contract for that's close to $220 million that the city is paying to develop the reconstruction and renovation of that hotel property. Now, it says on their website that they have an 18.7 minority set aside. And when Young got the previous mayor Strickland to put the $220-some million in that, there's some federal funds involved, and that's not, shall we say, kosher with the current administration.
So are you saying there's been political pressure put on the Democrat mayor to get him to agree to let the National Guard come to town?
He doesn't want too much attention because this is probably one of the most corrupt cities in the United States when it comes to official corruption. That's one of the reasons the crime problem's so bad. How are you going to expect the streets to be safe when the biggest crooks may be down in City Hall? Now, there's another thing, too. The company says 18.7% minority set aside, but the mayor is saying it's only 15%, so there's 3.7. Yes, 3.7%. That's $220 million. You might also consider right downtown, just in back of the Peabody, there is a 25-acre cleared parcel, it's grass, and the grass is cut right across from the Redbird Stadium. That property was sold to a developer for a ridiculously low amount, and there's $200+ million the city is committed to financing the development for that place too. So you might want to check and see who gets it. Now,
so you're saying the Trump administration or someone on the ground is maybe informed the Trump administration about some of this, and some of this could be being used to say, hey, I think you, mayor, and folks in the city government there might want to let me come on in, and you guys should be excited about it and telling everybody you want it.
Because crime's out of control. Our mayor goes to a place like Folks Folly, but he's got 6 to 8 cops in uniform that are his bodyguards. Myself, former congressman, former mayors of this city, we walk amongst the people and everybody greets us, but the current mayor is afraid of the people he represents. He can't talk to them. Now, see, we've been trying to push something around here, which is using the Tennessee constitutional carry provisions to allow the citizenry to set up a citizen militia where they get cooperated with by the sheriff's department, the police and the sheriff's department open up these firing ranges again that got closed down some years ago, train the citizens, teach them the law, organize them, have communication protocols, use some communication equipment so the citizens don't feel helpless and they get an opportunity to get out and be involved in making their community safe.
Are we one of the few states that allows for that?
One of the growing number of states that allows constitutional carry.
But I mean, the setting up of the militia.
We haven't done that yet, but we could under Tennessee law. Now, some of the things that are going wrong here, like Elon Musk is setting up this XAI, and it is a very important thing because Memphis is centrally located in terms of national distribution. It is the distribution capital of the U.S.
With FedEx here.
UPS is here, the bulk mail center is here, and everything flows through Memphis. And this little rinky-dink airport we have has the largest commercial tonnage in the whole world, and Hong Kong is about second behind it. There's an opportunity to use what is here to open up a world center and make Memphis what in effect would be the Silicon Valley for the 21st century. But these petty clowns we have here, I call them our local yokels, don't understand that. And it's too much what am I getting here? Like there are some of the pop politicians that if you go check them out, you will find that they are getting contributed to by some of the people that they nominally attacked. It's called followthemoney.org. Followthemoney.org.
I'm aware of that.
All right, and it will tell you who's getting what and what for. Now, Musk is trying to donate an $87 million water purification plant to the city of Memphis. He jumped ahead of everything by making his application for a permit a year before he had to. He got issued that. There are some people that are lying through their little bribe-seeking teeth about Musk operation is, shall we say, causing pollution, but there's never been a study. And
Because he set up some generators or turbines or something.
Turbines, but
yeah.
There's no finding because there is no EPA report. That's a tale. And as a matter of fact, our current mayor had been talking about they were going to have an EPA evaluation done in 2 weeks, which got extended to another 2 weeks, and it hasn't been done. So our Justin is here pontificating about the evils of it, but Boxtown is a hellhole. It's filthy. The streets are filled with potholes. There's extremely low employment there. The per capita income is ridiculous. The crime rate is ridiculous. And on that island, there's even a refinery that's been there for decades that is contributing to the pollution. So Musk's operation is not doing that, but somebody's trying to
imply that he is.
Yes. So that is holding the whole area back, and we don't need that. This could be big. This place has been renovated. It used to be Overton Square, and there were different businesses around here when I first got here 50 years ago. There was a TGI Fridays over there, an Italian restaurant next door. This used to be a steakhouse and an amusement center down here at the end of this block. There was a hotel everybody used to go to buffets to across the street. But it's gone downhill. But now, what is happening here in Memphis is something very insidious. Some of the locals were talking about making this a sanctuary city. Why? Because Blue Oval...
The Ford plant over...
Not Ford. Blue Oval is a South Korean corporation, just like Hyundai. And you remember the mess down here with the Hyundai plant where ICE came in and got... Well, what's going on is Blue Oval is supposed to be hiring close to 30,000 employees. 15,000 of them, according to the company, have already been hired, but they're South Korean nationals.
Oh, wow.
So they're trying to bring them over here. And a lot of what's happening with the decay of the infrastructure is because there is a shunt line from Memphis going out to Mason, which has 5,200 people, that goes back almost 40 years. And in 1997, Memphis passed a referendum that said Memphis Light, Gas, and Water cannot enter into a new contract out of this area, and that's a pre-existing one. So Blue Oval wants to wipe out Mason and bring in 30,000 new employees, most of whom will be foreign.
Oh, wow.
So that means bringing in 3.5 people per family. You're talking about 100-some thousand people. And when you get in Malco, Mickey D's, and everything else that they need to do what they need to do, you're talking about 220,000 people in a city that Memphis is going to have to finance the shunt line for the sewage and the water out there to operate a 30,000 man factory, plus another 200-some thousand in the city, which will probably be about the 4th largest urban area in Tennessee. So there are some people that are just salivating in anticipation of the contracts they're going to get. And a lot of that is what's going on down here. We have a thing right down this street here. If you go down far enough, it's what used to be Nathan Bedford Forest Park.
Yes.
Tammy Sawyer and Van Turner, who were on the county commission, they introduced an act so that Van Turner's corporation could buy that park for $1,000, no bid. The city of Memphis has been upkeeping that park, and then the hospital complex down there wants to rent that out for quite a bit. You might want to inquire whose brother got the contract to take down Nathan Bedford, who got paid how much to store it, where the statue from that location is now, and also down here at the Metal Museum on the bluff, who came up, same two individuals, with selling that property to somebody who was actively on the county commission that sponsored the legislation. His corporation got to buy that park for $1,000. And they also have something, and I'll call it green space. And green space is chartered to operate city and county parks. They're trying to get an agreement with the city and the county to operate all of the parks in the area. And that would include right down the way here, where you are going to get the Liberty Bowl changed into a soccer arena for previous mayor set it up for $700 million, and build a new football arena for allegedly $3.5 billion, trying to get the Tennessee Titans in here. And if you go down where I just left on Elvis Presley, where the Presley Mansion is, it looks like a minefield with the potholes. And you see, this is what's going on in this city. One of the reasons it is so crime-ridden is because too many of the resources that should be devoted to this city are being under the table corrupted and misapplied and misappropriated.
What about unfunded, how about jobs for police officers that are...
There are quite a few, several hundred actually, funded positions that are not filled. And one of the problems with the police department and the sheriff's department, it is out of the control of the chief administrators for both entities, is that some of the street gangs have infiltrated those departments. Ooh. That's why you have such a high homicide rate down here for pre-trial detention, which is 10, 12 times the total that came out of there in the last 40 years.
And that's because of why?
Because you have street gangs infiltrated. People turn a blind eye because Brother Jamal has a girlfriend who's related to this guy, and this person's a deputy jailer, or you go and you find the police, and there's some fine young men, but a lot of them will tell you, I'm not going down there, that's not my posse, I'm not going to die for that kind of crap. So
are you saying basically the criminals, whether they're in an elected position or the criminals on the street, are running
you got
the town?
Folks downtown. They need to audit this whole place. Now, I started this when I was on the criminal bench 30 years ago. Grand juries under Tennessee law have the authority to audit all activity conducted by all state, county, or city entities within their district. This is the 30th Judicial District, and it's contiguous with Shelby County. It was shocking what we discovered. For example, the county put in all of the phone system that was used at the penal farm, the juvenile detention facilities, and so on, but they turned it over to somebody to give them 4% of the net. And when I had the grand jury look into it, this was circa 94, 95, the net profit was $94 million. And we were only getting 4%. This guy didn't even have an office. He had a secretary who collected the checks from, I think it was now AT&T, but it was Bell South then. So
this was for people to make phone calls that are in the jails to pay for them.
So they're collect calls. So the phone company collected and sent a check, which should have gone to the people. Now it's operated out of Texas, but the next year it went up to $112 million was the net profit, and this guy got 4% that he sent to the city. See, that kind of thing is going on. You drive down Riverside Drive and you see Beale Street Landing, that
Yeah.
grass-covered hillock.
Right.
Well, somebody put up $35 million of the city money to finance the development of that, and the guy was supposed to operate a gift shop, bar, and a grill.
Right.
So he bailed, and nobody went after him, so the city's got a white elephant they can't do anything with because...
That's right there on the river there.
Right there on the river. And the city can't operate a bar. So we've got that.
So what you're saying is every time we turn around, there's just misappropriation of funds.
Exactly. And somebody...
And so instead of the money going to fight crime, it's going for projects that ends up being, greasing somebody's hand, and that money's gone, it's wasted, and they tell us they need to raise taxes to fight crime, but what they need really to do is stop the political corruption and the greasing of palms and spend the money on fighting crime.
And then the vote situation is horrible here. It's corrupt. Back in 2008, the U.S. Department of Justice put up the money to replace all of the voting machines. They were deballed voting machines because they had been found to be corrupt since 2000. And the Department of Justice issued quarterly reports from that point on every quarter, and it says, once again, Memphis is not capable of conducting a fair and legitimate election. So this county did not put the money out there and spend it until 3 years ago, and then they kept the machines in the warehouse for a year and a half. So when I voted the last time, I personally witnessed 2 people vote twice.
Oh, wow.
You're supposed to be separated, but they had people sitting right next to each other if they decided to exercise the option of filling in their ballots rather than having a computer do it for them. So nobody has any way of authenticating those ballots, and people just drop them in. So if you want to cheat, you come in and you just have some pre-printed ballots when the polls close, and you run them through the machine, and there's no way to tell which are legit and what's not. And
so you agree with President Trump, we need to go to paper one day, voting paper only?
Well, yeah. We have to do something. But even that's not immune from cheating, because remember, they used to stuff ballot boxes. And Errol Ford Sr. got elected the first time as congressman. He was Democrat, but that was in 1974.
Is it his nephew that's the one that's on Fox News?
I don't know.
That young Ford, yeah.
That stuff anymore anyway. But what happened is in 1974, it was all paper. They were showing that he was losing to the incumbent who was named Kirkendall. So Ford went down there, almost got himself arrested when he literally kicked down a barricade and found all of these boxes of paper ballots that were hidden. So that's not unknown. And then I was with an individual this last November 2024, and I was representing a lady who's running for Congress as a Republican, fine lady, and we're down there and they've got a problem at the Maine Election Commission. You know what it is?
What?
They have more votes that are cast at certain precincts than people signed in to vote, so they were trying to figure out.
So more votes than voters?
Yeah. So watching them scurry around.
Let's go back to fighting the crime. We have been looking and reading reports that the Sinaloa cartel is here in Memphis and many other cities, and they're getting their precursor chemicals from China. Judge Jeanine just did a big bust and showed all these precursor chemicals that came from China through Mexico that she seized. Is that one reason you think he's bringing the National Guard in here, is to deal with the international drug cartels as well?
The drug cartels are interesting. A lot of guns come in illegally through Memphis, but the crates of illicit firearms come in with the kilos of illicit drugs. One of the things that is not checked is this thing that actually offers trade opportunity to this area. In Europe, they have these specialized containers that they use to load trucks, planes, trains, barges, and the barges are floated down the canals and estuaries to the Mediterranean, where they are put on board these ocean-going barge transports. If you're ever in New Orleans and you go down to the port, you'll see these things that look like 1,000-foot-long streamlined oil tankers. Those are barge transports. So when they get there, they drop the rear hatch, float them out, they get a tow, which takes about 30 days to get from New Orleans to Memphis. nobody runs them through customs until they get to Memphis. So all during this 1 month long journey up the Mississippi River, they get met by packet boats, commissary boats, mail, and everything else. And there's a back and forth exchange on whatever is on those barges, and nobody's looking.
And that could be everything from guns to drugs.
Well, worse than that.
How about
ammonium nitrate? That is a very effective, long pulse explosive, and the military uses it as explosive, the explosive in 155 millimeter howitzer shells. So it is also the most common fertilizer in the United States. So you have tons of ammonium nitrate being shipped up that river on barges, and it's 1.5 times more powerful per pound than dynamite. So if you've got 8,000 tons worth of ammonium nitrate, that's just 4 barges. You get 6 of them, and you've got the explosive equivalent, non-nuclear, to what they dropped on Hiroshima in World War II.
And surely the Islamists, terrorists, Al-Qaeda, others are aware of this, right?
I'm sure they are. But you see, you know where it's particularly hazardous? You get up here to Vicksburg, they've got an upslope from the southern portion of the Mississippi River that goes up to Vicksburg. If you detonate this off, even if it's non-nuclear, or you can make it dirty if you wanted to. So,
a dirty bomb, nuclear dirty bomb.
But you don't have to. You still have the explosive equivalent of what they dropped on the first one in Japan, which was 16 kilotons. So that goes right up that ramp, and you wipe out Vicksburg, Mississippi. And nobody's checking. This place has got amazing potential, but it's also a trap for the unwary.
What about all the cars that are constantly being stolen? Are these being put on cargo containers and shipped overseas somewhere?
We have another problem. A woman who is the county clerk is being scapegoated. She's done her homework. She had to go to paper audits because the computers were hacked, and she discovered that $28 million had been taken, and it went through the county mayor's office, who wrote a letter along with another somebody up in Nashville that they took it, because what's the problem? We've been doing it. But see, also there were several thousand license plates that disappeared, but they have been tracked through one of the mayor's offices, and those license plates are now showing up in interstate commerce on stolen vehicles. So there's all kinds of criminality going on.
What about sex trafficking? How big of a problem is that here?
That is a big problem here. I know from 45 years ago, well, I represented a lot of pimps and whores here.
As an attorney?
As an attorney. And
we're talking politicians or pimps and whores?
I'm talking about real pimps and whores.
I know.
They charged them a lot of times with what they charged Diddy with, because a lot of them were over here in West Memphis, Arkansas. So they would bring them from West Memphis over here, or from where they had that series P Valley down in Mississippi. So that was not an uncommon criminal offense back then. But there are a lot of these kind of things going on here, and they never did particularly clean this up.
So let me ask you, it sounds like what President Trump, that we need to send this interview to him, and that President Trump and his administration, and I know one or two of the White House attorneys, it sounds like Memphis, and I'm sure there are other cities, but Memphis needs more than National Guard. It sounds like Memphis needs to have the FBI and the DOJ in here, and we have a lot of people that need to be questioned.
That's certainly correct. This place needs an audit. They had a sting operation about 20-some years ago, maybe a little longer than that, called Tennessee Waltz.
I remember that.
They need to have a Memphis Boogie. This is a very bad place, and it is bad for what this town could be. This could be the Chicago for the 21st century. This could be the Silicon Valley for the 21st century.
They've said it could be like the Dixie Digital, right? Like
Yeah.
Silicon Valley.
But see, there's another aspect too. We have a thing now with energy production. You've got a very high water velocity down here where the Mississippi River curves.
I think I think for the very first time, the curtain has been pulled back on Memphis. We have never had insight as he described.
Oh, Judge Brown know his facts.
Yes,
And he's older than me, but he hadn't forgot a thing about Memphis. And a
yeah,
lot of it I remember myself because
yeah.
y'all know I just had a 76th birthday, and a lot of that stuff was going on. So he is absolutely telling the truth, and they have been sweeping it under the rug for years.
Yeah, but I believe that that interview is going to reach the departments that it should reach.
Oh,
Like I said,
well, the news reporters say he's going to send the interview to Trump.
yeah, that's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
Because you're already down here, you already have the agencies here.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
why not extend it from external to internal?
Well, I told you we talked about it here on the show 2 weeks ago that
Yeah,
once that it wasn't just gonna be for the criminals on the street. That it was gonna also be for
correct.
the white collar crime because they're in the first time in history, and you've heard them say this. There has never been. I mean, even the other cities that Trump sent the National Guard to, he did not send 13 federal agencies. And this is the
No,
only time that he sent down 13 different federal agents.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
think he already knows what's going on.
right. And based off of Joe Brown's interview right there, it
No, I
leaves.
stopped it. I stopped it
No,
because
no, I was just saying based
it's
on.
kind of long and it would have went past our show. But
Yeah, I'm
I
just.
just wanted everybody to see the
But
highlights.
right, but what I'm saying is based off of what we heard and what we saw of his interview,
Mhm.
it gives us the real reason why they didn't want them to come here.
Oh, I know. I kept saying that.
Right. But
Yeah.
yeah, we were saying it, but this like bags up what we were saying and then some. So
Exactly.
everybody is shaking in their boots that is doing any type of crime, and that's internal or external.
Well, this,
Um,
my granddaddy used to say, your great grandfather used to always tell me this, and I used to hear him say it all the time. But of course, I was a kid then. I didn't know what it meant. But he used to always say, what's done in the dark will always come out in the light.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and if you
And
scratch
that's
a lie, if you scratch a lie, you'll find a thief.
Tim, you got one better than my granddad.
Yeah,
Let me have to give you a round of applause on that one. Now.
yeah.
Say that one more time because I never heard that one before.
If you scratch a lie, Lie, you'll
Uh-huh.
find a thief.
I heard that. Well, all right then. Well, I just had to play. I think we lost Luther. He might not be a fan of Judge Joe Brown, but see, like I
But
told,
but but
I,
these, yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, like I've been saying all the time, and I'm glad Judge Brown touched on it about the elections in this city. And I told y'all the last time that we had the mayoral election, it was rigged, and that's how we ended up with Paul Young for the city because Judge Joe Brown was running. And oh yeah, that's right. I know Luther doesn't like Judge Joe Brown, but not particularly. Excuse me, Luther. Didn't mean to put your business out there, but I remember him making a comment about it. But yeah, it's not that people didn't vote for him. It's like he said, these elections here in this city have been rigged all along. And and like I said too, they always get somebody that's stupid so they can continue this corruption that's been going on for the past 30, 40 years, like
Yeah,
Justice Brown said,
yeah. And I want to say something to the viewers. Look here, guys. It is so important that you share this video. These are the type of things that need to be shared and need to be get out to the public. It's our
Exactly.
city this week. It could be your city next week.
Hmm.
Share this video so these type of things light can be shedded on, and we can fight back with this corruption. This is
Hmm.
one of the ways that we can do it by utilizing the internet and utilizing sharing with our friends and what have you. So be
Right.
sure, help us
Well,
to
I think it
share.
just came out today, and so far it's got over 13,000 views. So somebody watching
Yeah,
it.
because this is equivalent to them pulling back the curtain on the Wiz. Remember in the Wiz, you
Yeah,
thought he was such a grand, big old person, and when they
yeah,
pulled the curtain back, he was a little bitty old man,
yeah, yeah.
right? But
Pretty much
never,
what it is.
never, never in my 54 years have I ever seen uh, such transparency that he delivered.
Oh
That's
yes.
Joe Brown, really, and like you say, he called by name, and he was spitting facts.
Oh, there's Luther. He's still with us. Luther say there's too much money. Yeah, but you know whose money that is, don't you, Luther?
Yeah,
It's yours. It's mine. It's
yeah,
Tim's.
yeah,
It's us, the taxpayers,
right,
because Memphis, the city of Memphis, has the highest tax on the dollar than the federal government,
yeah,
and that's ridiculous. Like I told y'all last week that I ordered um, from the Uber, and I ordered a Whataburger. I ordered a Whataburger and a apple pie. My total order was only $11 and 70 something cents. I'm an Instacart member, so there is no delivery fee because I pay monthly for the service. Right, the tax was $7 and 80 something cents. And I looked at that, I'm like, wait a minute. And I started not to to buy it, but I really wanted to try the Whataburger. So I ended up paying $7, almost $8 in taxes. It said what it said was taxes and other fees. No, that went to the city because
yeah,
it's taxes. Why
yeah.
you put taxes on it? Luther said, play the song. What song? What song? You have to tell me what song. Or are you telling me that I'm preaching? Is that what you mean? I don't know what you're talking about, Luther. But yeah, I think that uh, they definitely gonna end up doing some time. And I noticed that the news reporter asked him about Edmund Ford Jr.
Yeah,
Joe Brown said, I don't know about that.
yeah,
That's one thing I love about Joe Brown.
yeah,
He's like me. He's only going to talk about what he definitely does know.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I like that about him because I'm the same way.
yeah,
I'm not going to talk about something I don't know anything about. If I don't know anything about it, I'm just going to say I don't know. And that's exactly what he did.
yeah.
But I know what he was talking about.
Right. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. He saved the agencies a lot of time. They don't have to wonder where to look. He told them,
already told me everything.
he
Yeah.
told them everything. All
Yeah.
they got to do is just follow up on it.
Yeah. And see, he has a dual residency. He lives here. He's been living here for the past 50 something years, but he also has a dual uh, residence in the state of California. You know, that's where he had his shows produced out of Los Angeles. So I don't
Yeah.
know. What is he talking about? Who was Les McCain? Who was Les
I
McCain?
don't know.
And
But you
Eddie
know,
Harris.
and here's another thing, folks. We have to remember that when these mayors and these so-called city officials goes to these conventions and whatnot to other states and cities, they're being. This is a learned behavior. So that means that they're teaching it to other cities, and when they're at their conventions, we're thinking they're taking care of the business of the people, and
Mm.
they're not. They're
No,
telling,
all they doing is being drunk and being with strippers.
yeah, yeah, and they're telling on how they're doing the corruption in their
And how
state
they doing
and
the
in their
corruption.
city.
It's like watching a mob movie.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly, exactly.
Oh, you say Google it and listen. Okay. Well, I'll have to write it down because once it leaves once the show is over, I'd have to go back and play the whole thing, Luther, just to
Yeah,
get
y'all
the
y'all be sure to
time.
share this video, because one thing I know about the internet is undefeated.
Okay, Luther say Les McCain. I don't know who that is and what they singing about. Les McCain and Eddie Harris. Okay, I wrote it down. Uh,
Mhm.
I'm writing it down now, Luther. I'll have to investigate that because I sure don't know nothing about that. If they got a politics song, I'm probably gonna like it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, y'all make this video go viral. Make it go viral.
I know. I think it will. Because once it gets to the White House, it won't get taken down. I think they'll probably be showing it all over national news
Mm,
clips, like Fox News
yeah,
and all around.
yeah,
And like I say, that's the reason why they didn't want um, Judge Joe Brown to be mayor of the city because he know too much.
yeah, yeah. And he wasn't gonna play ball.
No, they knew he wasn't.
Yeah,
And he like Trump. He can't be bribed. He can't be bought, and he
yeah,
ain't scared of nobody.
yeah, yeah,
Like he made that statement too. He
yeah. I
said
have to
me and
agree
he
with you.
said me and a few other, politicians. We can walk around the city, walk amongst the people.
Yeah,
But the Karen mayor of the city, Paul Young, got 7 or 8 cops around him as bodyguards. So
yeah.
he's telling the truth about that stuff.
That's
But
right.
all right, let's take a little short break. When we come back, we're gonna close out the show because it's 7:52, and we don't like to leave y'all keep y'all past show time. So stay tuned, don't go away. Let's hear our closing remarks as soon as we return. Okay. Okay, we back. I told Luther to stop talking about my steaks. Just said Luther say, and you are not eating the
Come
clone
on,
meat.
me.
Oh yeah, you're right. And I had to give you a round of applause on that one, cause Omaha Steaks is right. That's real meat. They've been in business for 100 something years. They don't mess around. And I did a LOL for you, Luther. I think the R got cut off, but I was talking to you. And And I tell you what, y'all know I've been saying for the longest that I'm gonna record me a song and write some words to my
Yeah,
Omaha
to the
State music
Omaha. Yeah.
song. And Judge Luther, you just gave me an idea. I'm going to write me a politics song to that music right there and sing it too. And
All right.
that's my closing for tonight. But yeah, but I do want to say this internationally. It appears that they have finally come to an agreement between Hamas and Israel to free the hostages and the for Netanyahu to take his warmongers killing soldiers out of Gaza. But it's nothing left of Gaza. I mean, it's just a place of rumble and rock, and that's what President Trump said. So, I told y'all I pretty much agree with everything that Trump does. People don't like me for it, but what people don't never like right. They like
Yeah, they don't like me either.
they love the wrong, but they don't like the right. And I'm not talking about the right or the left in politics. I'm talking about doing what's right
Yeah,
and doing what's wrong or not
yeah,
doing nothing at all.
yeah,
People love not doing nothing at all. You
yeah.
know,
Oh yeah, definitely.
presidents that don't do nothing at all, they love them.
Yeah,
Presidents that do wrong, they love them. But they don't like presidents that do right. That's why they assassinated President Kennedy.
yeah,
That's why they assassinated Martin Luther King.
yeah,
And that's why they tried to assassinate Trump.
yes,
Okay? Because they're going to do something right for the country. But at any rate, hopefully they do complete that um, agreement and let the people come home to Israel because I know they have suffered. And I definitely have seen the suffering of the Palestinians in Gaza. So I'm hoping that all of that goes through
yeah.
peacefully and
Me
come
too.
to the final end.
Yeah.
Um, and that's, I think, is my closing on that. And Tim probably want to close on.
Hey, just another excellent show with a lot of good information that you only get on this show.
And that is the only mom and pop political commentators on the net in the
Yes.
whole wide world. All right, then. So listen, tomorrow night we will be here for our show, the Emily Pearl Show. Sybil is out of town. She's traveling to her home in Alabama. She took the train. Luther said, "Here we go again." Yeah. So she won't be on the show, but we will be here.
Yeah.
And then next Friday night, we're going to have a guest on the show, a minister, Jesse Cox. He's having a great big event in Memphis that he's going to be talking with us about. And on next Wednesday night, I'm going to be the guest on the show by Jacoby Jelks, the Memphis Jelks show. And I'll be just talking about insurance, but I'll put the link out there so you guys can come and support me
Yeah.
next Wednesday night. I believe it's at 7 p.m., but I'll keep y'all updated on that. All right, then. Well, we thank y'all so much for watching, and we'll see y'all on tomorrow night. But thank you for watching Pearls Politics. All right. That's our time, and we gonna say good night to y'all. We'll see y'all tomorrow night.
All
Bye
right.
bye. Love y'all.
Yeah.